Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Talking to Myself, the big number 8, episode number 8. Yeah, can you believe it? I can't believe we made it this far. My name is Dante Toro. Thank you guys for being here. That was a little bit of a dramatic intro, but thank you guys so much for being here. I hope everyone is having a great Monday so far, a great start to the week, and welcome back, TikTok. Welcome back. Who would have thought that after, what was it, 12, not even half a day, 12 hours, that TikTok was already back in our lives? How stupid was that? That entire TikTok situation, the whole countdown to it being shut down, the whole it has to be sold, this and that. There wasn't a part of me, there really wasn't a second where I actually believed that TikTok was going to get permanently banned for like the foreseeable future, like for a long period of time. Like, yes, we did have the blackout period when you signed on, it said they're working on it, they're trying to resolve it, whatever. But it was just, no politics. This is not a political podcast. If you want politics, this is not the show for you. But with everything going on with the presidencies, switching up and, Trump getting inaugurated, all this stuff, it seemed like it was a perfect setup for TikTok to come back. So welcome back, TikTok. That whole thing with it getting banned, though, was really stupid. There was no way that, I'll say it, like, I got started on TikTok. Like, the reason why I am sitting here right now is because of TikTok. And I will always be grateful and fortunate for TikTok and the audience that we were able to build on there, the community, everything from back in my Lumberland days to Mustache Bros to Stash Club to where I am now. It would have broken my heart if TikTok did end and didn't allow people to make a living off of it, because TikTok did become it. Listen, TikTok is a mix of just absolute goofiness, just the weirdest shit you'll ever see, the funniest shit you'll ever see, but also people that make an honest living off of it as well. There are people that make great content and look towards TikTok and social media in general to make money, to make a living, and getting that taken away from those people did, if it was something that actually went into full effect, would have been really tough. So I'm happy that TikTok is back for the sake of those people that would have lost money on it and all this stuff. Again, I'm not going to get into the politics and why it was trying to get banned in the first place and this and that, but TikTok, it could be a good or a bad way, but it's an escape, right? To me, it's like I go on TikTok, and I will say, when they did ban it like 2 hours early at 10 o'clock at night, that was kind of fucked up, because I do enjoy my late night scrolling on TikTok. Before going to bed, you go on for a little bit, check the messages that your friends sent you, send other messages, whatever it may be. I was going to miss that because it's an escape to kind of just, like, I don't know, find funny shit to laugh about after having a tough day or something like that. And I don't know, just you find funny videos, and me and my friends send each other TikToks all the time and stuff. So kind of losing out on that would have sucked and everything. But happy it's back. TikTok was never going anywhere in the first place. It was kind of funny seeing, I'm not throwing shade at anyone, but it was kind of funny seeing people post, like, confessing to things on TikTok. Like, oh, I've been on here for 5 years. I want to get something off my chest or whatever. Like, people were going crazy, like it was the end of the world or something like that. It was just an app coming to an end for a little bit. But happy TikTok is back. I definitely should use TikTok more. To be completely honest with you, this isn't like a, like, oh, we almost lost it, now I gotta take advantage of it type of thing. But TikTok, again, it was the place where I got started with Lumberland and built up my following. I mean, I almost have, I think I have like 88,000 followers on TikTok or something like that. It used to be more. I think I was close to 100K at one point, but I haven't posted consistently in a long time. But maybe that's something that I start back up. It's just another platform to make content on. And another good thing about it is, just seeing other content creators and getting inspiration and connecting with people and stuff as well. So happy TikTok is sticking around. Would have been kind of stupid if it was taken away. All right, moving on from TikTok. Enough of that in the stupid ban that never was. Let's talk about some movies that I saw this week. We are so back on the train, guys. I probably watched 2 or 3 movies in the last few months of 2024. I have watched 4 so far this month of January. We are rolling. We are so back. That was one of my goals this year, to watch more movies. I wanted an average of one movie a week. You know, it could be I could watch more than one. Some weeks I might not watch one, but you know, if one week I watch two, makes up for the one week that I didn't. I wanted an average of one movie a week. We're killing it so far. Two movies that I saw this week. I mentioned the week prior, the podcast prior, I saw Nosferatu. Not the movie for me. The two movies I saw this week, though, were, to me, better, and I enjoyed them more. I'll put it that way. The two movies I saw this week, I enjoyed more, and that was Hitman with Glenn Powell and A Complete Unknown about Bob Dylan starring Timothy Chalamet. So let's start with Hitman. Well, actually, you know what? Let's talk about Hitman. So me and Taylor, we were, I forget what night it was. What night was it? It was the 16th. Today is the 20th. So that means the 16th was a Thursday. So we're home on a Thursday. We decided to watch a movie. We wanted to put something on that was not something you have to super lock in towards. Something you just have on. We're watching it, paying attention, but you don't have to be like, it's not like an Interstellar and an Inception or something like that, right? It's nothing too crazy. So we find Hitman. It was on both of our watch lists, or at least it was on mine, and we decided to throw it on. So movie was good. I'll just talk about the movie really quick. The movie was good. I wasn't expecting the most out of it because I don't know if it was in theaters. It may have been in theaters, but I don't know. It just seemed like a movie that was rom-com-y, but didn't seem like it had the most consistent or best story in the world, and it just could have been a throwaway movie, whatever, starring a big name actor in Glenn Powell. It really wasn't that bad. The story was pretty consistent. I thought Glenn Powell at this point, like most movies that I've seen him in, I've enjoyed his roles. So if Glenn Powell's in the movie, I'm most likely going to see it. But yeah, I just enjoyed it more than I thought I would. The story was really solid. It was well told. The plot was it was engaging enough where I was locked in the whole time. It was a solid movie. Definitely something I would recommend. I think it was on Netflix. So just an easy hour 45-minute watch. Throw it on random Thursday night, whatever. But hour 45 movie probably took us around 2.5, 3 hours to finish because unfortunately Tony, my dog, my beloved dog who I love so much, decided to take a number 2 in our apartment, which required some cleanup because he stepped in it, walked around our apartment. But we cleaned that up. We got to finish the movie, so no worries. But unfortunately, after the movie ended, we realized that we missed a spot. Tony had stepped in that spot and walked around the apartment even more. So I had to clean the apartment once again. So my recommendation to you is if you are going to watch Hitman starring Glenn Powell, I would make sure that, we made sure that Tony went out to go to the bathroom, but just make sure your dog doesn't poop on the floor, even on your clothes for that matter. So that's my one recommendation there, but check out Hitman. Shout out Hitman. Then a Complete Unknown. This was a movie that I really was looking forward to seeing. I admittedly don't know anything about Bob Dylan. Going into this, hands up, I only had 2 songs of Bob Dylan saved on my phone. One of them was Knockin' on Heaven's Door, which I feel like is one of, if not his most popular songs. It's number 3 on his This Is Bob Dylan playlist on Spotify, which usually ranks like, the most popular songs, whatever. And then Girl from the North Country with Johnny Cash. I really enjoyed this movie. Same thing with Glenn Powell. Timothy Chalamet, anything I see him in at this point, I love him. I love Timothy Chalamet. He is a great fucking actor. He has been in a ton of different roles like this, Wonka, Dune, obviously, and he kills everything. I'm a huge fan of Timothy Chalamet, excuse me. Any movie that him or Glenn Powell in, I am seeing, probably in theaters too. If it's in the theaters, I'm probably not waiting until it's out on streaming. I'm going to go in theaters to see it. But Bob Dylan, Complete Unknown, it was a good, this was a good biopic because, again, I didn't know much about him going into it, and I walked out of it feeling like I knew a whole lot about his life, where there's some things I was still curious about and was wondering for sure, because it only covers a certain, period of time. And they talked about things at the end, like they put at the end screen, they say, oh, Bob Dylan has written 60 albums and he sold blah, 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 whatever. So it's like they kind of tell you what's happened since then. But Timothée Chalamet killed it. Bob Dylan, I understand, his prominence and how important he is or how popular he is. I know of Bob Dylan. I've always have known of the name Bob Dylan. Again, not my, I don't have many songs of his saved. I can't say that that type of music is my go-to music. That's the type of music that I'll probably have to be put onto, and I'm not going to look out to listen to. But he comes off as a huge asshole, I will say. And I was told that Bob Dylan was kind of a prick. So, hey, they accomplished that. I definitely was thinking towards, throughout the movie that this guy was a major asshole. And sometimes, being a major asshole, it gets you far. And Bob Dylan got far. I'm not saying he got far because he was an asshole. He got far because he was a very talented musician, songwriter, this and that. But they definitely did make him come across as a huge asshole, that movie. Huge fan. I saw it in theaters. I didn't want to wait until it came out on streaming. I wanted to see this in theaters because I heard great things about it. I know a bunch of people that have seen it. And I wanted to get the experience of watching it in the theater as well. So I actually think that we saw both these movies back to back. We saw Hitman Thursday night, and then we saw A Complete Unknown at the theater. It's like 1 o'clock the next day on a Friday. So back to back movie days. I don't know what there is. I don't think there's any big movies coming out this week. Let's see, actually. Let's see what's coming out on Friday. I know Captain America is coming out on the 14th in February, which I am praying to God that's going to be good because Marvel, they need it. The Brutalist, Flight Risk, and Presence are coming out on Friday, it looks like. Or no, The Brutalist came out on the 20th, but it says it's in the theaters. Flight Risk and Presence are new movies. I don't know. Is that Mark Wahlberg? That is Mark Wahlberg. Y'all Need a Pilot? I don't know. We'll have to check that out, see what the reviews are, see what it's about, and maybe we'll check that out this week. But if you have any movie recommendations, or if you have seen any movies yourself this week, let me know in the comments what you saw. If you're watching any TV shows, let me know what you're watching. If you have any recommendations, like I said, let me know. I want to talk about Balloonism, Mac Miller's Balloonism. I talked about it last week, the backstory behind it, and kind of getting people, hopefully getting people hyped up for it, because it was hadn't been out yet at that point, just kind of looking towards it. But got a chance to listen to it. I didn't listen to it the first day it came out because this album, this wasn't something I just wanted to put on at a random moment, while I'm doing other things or things are going on. Only listen to like half of it. I get busy and have to listen to the rest of it later. I wanted there to be a time and place where I knew I wasn't going to be interrupted. I knew it was just going to be me and the music, and there was going to be no distractions, nothing. So I think it was Saturday night. Taylor was out with a few friends. I decided this is the perfect moment to listen to it. It was like 11 o'clock at night. I just put it on my speaker, and it's bittersweet listening to an album like this because this album was written and created when Mac Miller was alive. But there's a lot of references, a lot of dark references that I'm sure if you're a Mac Miller fan or a music fan you've seen online. A lot of references about death, him kind of eerily seeing towards the future and stuff, saying, he said something along the lines of, I don't know anyone that dies on Fridays or who dies on Fridays, and he died on a Friday. And making, references to things that are kind of eerie. And it's a bittersweet reminder, like it's such a beautiful body of work, but he's not here anymore. And Mac Miller died, 7 years ago almost, nearly 7 years ago. It was his birthday the other day as well. And Balloonism came out on the 5-year anniversary of Circles. Don't know if that's something that the estate kind of planned out purposely or not, but it was such a beautiful project. And I'm going to make a video at some point this week where I'm going to be rating Mac Miller albums, kind of like a tier list kind of. And I don't want to give any spoilers there, but I think Balloonism is going to be pretty high up on the list. I know it's pretty new. There were a few songs I have listened to in the past when it was leaked, but it was a project I stayed away from because I wasn't too sure what was complete, what wasn't, what was meant to be heard. I talked about this last week. I wanted to, if it wasn't from him and we didn't know what was legit or not, I didn't want to, listen to it. But Funny Papers, Rick's Piano, Stoned, those songs, they're my 3 favorites right now. Funny Papers might be one of my favorite Mac Miller songs that has been released. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's hard for me to come up with another word. it really was another project showcasing us how talented Mac Miller was and how ahead of his time he truly was. And you can see, because this was made around the time of Faces, I believe it was made before Faces, some of the original songs off Balloonism were put on Faces. And you can tell the similarities over there. You can tell that they were made around the same time. You definitely got that vibe. But again, just it's a reminder that Mac Miller isn't here. It's crazy to think about the type of music he'd be making if he was alive now and how amazing it would be, because it for sure would be. So rest in peace, Mac Miller. If you haven't listened to Balloonism yet, I really recommend doing that. If you really aren't a Mac Miller fan or have gotten into his music in the past, if it's something like, given it a try and it just wasn't your thing, sure. But if you've never really gotten into him before and it's something that, you need some motivation for, hopefully I can be your motivation. Mac Miller is one of my favorite artists ever. I have him tattooed on me. I've showcased that before. Mac Miller, rest in peace. Long live Mac Miller. I don't know if there's more projects that the estate plans on putting out. There are other mixtapes and leaks and stuff that have come out that he has put out himself, but also have come out years ago that I don't know will see on streaming services maybe. But if this is the last Mac Miller project that we get on streaming services, it is one hell of a way to go out. Shout out Mac Miller. Okay, let's get into comments of the week not sponsored by Chipotle until we were sponsored by Chipotle. I had Chipotle twice last week, and it would have been really nice if I had a black card or something like that to help me with my costs. Chipotle, I'm just letting you know, if you need a brand ambassador, there's no one better than me. Okay, first one we have here, well, now we need a Dante's top 5 shows list. I did my top 5 movies, or I did top 5 albums. I forget. I did a top 5 something last week. I forget what I did. I forget what I had for lunch yesterday, okay? I put together a list for you guys, and this is a mix of shows that are comfort shows and shows that I think are just the best storytelling-wise, plot-wise, this and that. I will say, too, there are a lot of shows. There are a lot of great shows that I haven't seen, like shows that people consider some of the best, like Game of Thrones, The Wire. Those are the 2 big ones that come to mind. But there's other, Better Call Saul, I know is more recent, but a lot of people do rave about that being one of the best shows. There are some shows that I haven't seen, so obviously this is based off of ones I have seen. I really want to see shows like that, Game of Thrones, and really see why people consider these some of the greatest shows of all time. So I just want to put that out there right now. So the list I have here, and this is in no order. Number 1 is my number 1 though, The Sopranos. I'm going to start with that. That is my number 1 show of all time. Then we also have Breaking Bad, Avatar: The Last Airbender, King of Queens, which I think is the best. Do I think it is the best sitcom of all time? Maybe. But it is definitely the most underrated sitcom of all time. Kevin James, Leah Remini, Jerry Stiller, excuse me. I was thinking Arthur because that's his name in the show. Jerry Stiller, unbelievable cast, unbelievable show. It was probably my biggest comfort show. It was a show that I just think of watching with my mom and stepdad eating dinner, growing up and stuff. Even now, it's on at 1 in the morning, I'm hanging out on the couch in the living room, I'll throw it on. I've seen every episode 10 times. It is an unbelievable show, such a comfort show for me. If you haven't seen King of Queens, I can't recommend it enough. It is actually really funny. I don't know why people don't consider it to be one of the best. I don't know why it's not talked about more. It is fantastic. And then my last one, I kind of have a tie here between Impractical Jokers and Family Guy. 2 comfort shows. I think I'm going to roll with Impractical Jokers just because you can't go wrong with it. It's always on. It's such an easy show to just throw on, and you laugh at it. You're going to laugh at each episode, even if you've seen it 10 million times before. It's such good shit. It's just 4 middle-aged guys fucking around with each other, doing stupid jokes, embarrassing themselves, and they give themselves Jaden Smith tattoos. It doesn't get better than that. Family Guy is a classic, but I would say those 5 shows. But again, there are shows I haven't seen that I do want to get to at some point, and when I do, this list can definitely change. But for now, Sopranos, King of Queens, Avatar: The Last Airbender, Breaking Bad, and it will say Impractical Jokers is my top 5 TV shows of all time. Question of the week. Would you like to get back inside the wrestling ring one day? If so, against who? I would like to get back in the wrestling ring one day. It's just something that requires a lot of time, a lot of effort, patience. You have to carve out some time towards it. The first time that we did it, it was great. It went very well, but I feel like I didn't give it my 100% in the sense of like we trained a few times, but I wanted to train more. I wanted to, be a little bit more experienced because this was my first time doing it. I wanted to give 110%. I want to give everything that I have and put on the best show possible. I'm not saying that I didn't do that, but I don't want to, I want to be the best I can be. So if I'm going to do this again, I want to put more time into it. I want to train more. I want to take it a bit more seriously. If that happens one day, great. Will it? I don't know. Never say never in wrestling. Against who? I don't really have a list of like dream opponents or anything like that. I don't think I'm in a place, in a position to be doing that. But I would like to go up against a well-established indie wrestler that will make me look half decent. Just someone that, is a pro. In the ring, be able to carry me. If things go sideways, he puts it back on track. I remember when we were fighting, when we had our match with Stan and Fake Abs, I was never worried because if things got off track, I knew Stan, he's a pro's pro. He's done this countless times. He's been doing it for so many years that if something went wrong, the train was going to get back on the track. So I would like to go up against someone that can carry me because I am not in no position to be carrying a match or be, the guy running everything in the ring, So that would be my answer. I'd love to get back in the ring one day, but it has to be right place, right time, right situation. The stars need to align, but it's not out of the realm of possibility. Okay, this isn't really a question, just more of a comment that I see some people put under videos that I do want to address. I would want to see you react to matches / spots and get your opinions. There is nothing I would love more to make videos of watching old matches, reacting to spots, matches, this and that, but it just comes down to copyright stuff. It's something that it's out of my control. I can't post certain footage, videos on my channel when it belongs to other companies or whatever it may be. So because of that, unfortunately, I can't be, making reaction videos, nothing like that. Maybe one day if, that isn't an issue, sure, but unfortunately, that's not something I can do on this channel. Okay, the last question I have here is from Nick, who is under the comments of most videos, especially talking to myself. I appreciate you, Nick, for watching and following along every single week. Love the content. It's crazy that it's been 6 weeks already. If you could go back and talk to yourself at your lowest point, what would you say? It's a very good question, Nick. I appreciate it. Without saying my lowest point was, if I could go back and talk to Dante at his lowest point and give him advice, what would that be? I would tell him that nothing is permanent. And the way you feel now won't last forever. It only lasts if you allow it to. The sun's gonna shine tomorrow. Because there have been times where, you're in a headspace, you're in a place where you don't think the future is bright, where you think you're stuck somewhere and you're stuck. You don't think there's no hope, there's nothing to look forward to, nothing like that. Things get better, and some things take a while to come to fruition, and that requires patience. And not every day is gonna be the best day ever, right? But you can make it a great day still. Not every day is going to be great, but you can still make it as great as possible. And you can't allow things that you can't control to overwhelm you or dictate your mood, your day, your feelings, whatever it may be. Because I think something that I was terrible at doing was getting upset and allowing things that were out of my control to bother me. That's something that I would, admittedly would allow to eat me alive, and that's something that I've worked on, and I like to think I don't allow that to happen anymore. But it's really just, telling yourself, or me telling myself, that tomorrow's gonna come, the sun's gonna shine, tomorrow's a new day, every day is a new day, and we just keep moving forward. Things will get better. Shit might suck right now, but it's gonna suck less in a week. It's gonna suck even less more in a month, and in a year from now, you're gonna be hopefully a whole new different person. And that's what happened. I think, where I was at my lowest point, and I see myself, a year past that, I was in such a better place. And I think in the moment, it was hard for me to see, a future or, happiness or whatever. But things do get better, and that's advice I'd give to anyone, that if you're going through something right now, it's gonna pass. Shit passes. Again, not every day is gonna be the best day ever, but you can still find things in every day that can make it great. You can still approach every day with as great of an attitude as you can, and keep moving forward. And again, the sun shines tomorrow. It always does. So that's what I would say, and I want to say thank you guys so much for watching this episode of Talking to Myself. I will see you guys later on tonight for the Raw on Netflix live stream. I'll be doing that here on YouTube. So if you stuck around this far, you know ahead of time that I will be streaming. I'll make an announcement a little bit anyways. But thank you guys so much for watching. Please make sure to like and subscribe. Please make sure to check out all the other content on this platform, whether it be wrestling related or not. Check out all the other episodes of Talking to Myself if you haven't already. Catch up. And if you are an audio only listener, please make sure to give me a 5-star rating and review. It helps out a ton. I hope you guys have a great rest of the day. I hope you have a great rest of the week. I'll see you all week on this channel anyways, but peace out.